यज्ञर्थ कर्मणो अन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बंधना तदर्थ कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्त संग samachara. So today we shall be discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter number 3, which entitles Karma Yoga, and verse number is 9. Yet again, this is a very important verse. Hey, Krishna is saying that work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way you will always remain free from bondage. So you have heard that Krishna is saying that action has to be performed for the pleasure of God, for the pleasure of Vishnu or Krishna, else your action will cause bondage. It's a very great science, and this is the heart of Bhakti Yoga. This is the central point, that whatever we do, Lord should be pleased with us. There are good things, there are bad things, evil things, and there are some activities which we perform with the intention of pleasing the Lord. Those activities are spiritual activities. There can be some activities through which God is happy, but they are not spiritual activities, but action which are intentionally performed for the pleasure of Lord. That are the essential activities. So everybody wants to be free. Nobody wants bondage. Many countries were under slavery, had a hard time to free themselves. But despite getting freedom also, still people are surrounded with lots of miseries, problems per se. Because this kind of freedom is not real freedom. When Srila Prabhupada met his spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj told Prabhupada, you should spread this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the whole world. Prabhupada said, but we are slave now. How can we do it? Then Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj says that leaders will change, but politics will not change. Real freedom is to have connection with the Lord. So this is a very important point, that no matter what our material situation is, no matter who is in control, you will not have freedom. There will be bondage. There is a bondage of birth, disease, old age and death. Who can say that he is free when we are always surrounded with diseases and death? The fear of death is always above us. So, freedom from all kind of miseries. In fact, you will be surprised to know that of the 4 goals of life, freedom is one of them. First is artha, which is wealth. Second is enjoyment, satisfying the senses. Third is doing religious activities so that one can enjoy after this life in heavenly planets. And the fourth is freedom, mukti, or in Hindi it is also called as moksha. So dharma, arth, kam, moksha, these are the 4 primary goals of human life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, these 4 goals will not satisfy. The 5th goal, loving God, loving Krishna, serving Krishna, seeing the whole universe as a property of Krishna, this is required. Else there will be bondage. So this Bhagavad Gita, in a sense, propagate this idea of loving God. As in verse number 66 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaje mam ekam sharanam braja. You leave everything else, you just surrender to me, you just come to me. And as I guide you, you do things. So, in order to surrender to God, the most important thing is we have to understand first our goal, our relationship with God, and the relationship with the universe. This universe is not ours. We belong to the spiritual universe. This place is for uh, criminals. It's a penitentiary. This place is for people who are revolting against the Lord, who wants to enjoy aloof from God. They don't want to enjoy with God. They don't want to serve God like us. And that's the reason we have this material body and four miseries: birth, death, old age, and diseases are inflicted on us. And we are surrounded with so many physical and mental and social problems. And this is the result. And as soon as we rectify our basic mistake, everything changes to a lighter note, everything becomes pure and sublime. So, this is the real understanding. So, understanding this relationship is very important. So, this freedom of happiness will come if we choose the right thing. So, again and again, we have been emphasizing on this very point that learn the art of loving God, learn the art of working for God, and do not succumb to the demands of your senses. Do not uh, act according to your mind. Mind um, is a different entity from you. You have your spiritual mind. You are a spiritual personality. So do not heed to what the mind says. In fact, speak to your mind. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says that you beat your mind in the morning 100 times, and in before going to sleep 100 times beat this mind with broom. What he meant is that we should not hear what the mind is saying. In fact, we should purify the mind and make the mind understand that this is what is good for me, this is what is good for you. If you want to be happy for longer time, just take the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. So everybody has to work for the maintenance. So the system is designed in such a manner that no matter what you do, uh, let it be in a very religious and in a very simple way, so that the higher purpose is also met. So there are many kinds of yagyas, the fire sacrifices are performed, in which lots of ahutis are given. In Vedic scriptures it is recommended, that is for pleasing the Lord. But that process was for Treta Yoga. As you know, there are four yugas. Sat Yuga, where the process was to meditate on Lord Vishnu. And the Treta Yuga, the process was to do yagya for Vishnu. And Dwapar Yuga is to worship the Lord as a deity form. And this present age, present times, the process of sacrifice is Nam Sankirtan. Yagye Sankirtan Praye Yajante hi Sumedasa. That the real intelligent people, they perform Sankirtan Yagya for the pleasure of God. So again and again this point is coming back, that we should chant the name of Krishna every day, we should do Sankirtan every day, and this way, gradually, one by one, we will uplift ourselves. Even though we don't achieve our goal in this life, if then Krishna gives another chance in the next human form, because we have started a journey. Neha Bhikramanam Shosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swalpapi Masya Dharmasya Traito Mahato Bhayat. It will protect us from a greatest danger, and it will give again the chance. So we will restart our journey from next life. And this is happening life after life after life. But if we miss the opportunity of going back to God and we are engaged with eat, sleep, and sex, then the nature will give us suitable body for doing those activities. So there are 8,400,000 different types of bodies which are just engaged in or only doing these four sensual and bodily activities. And what pleasure in it? I mean, hardly for few seconds. When we are hungry, we eat something and satiate it, and we feel good for some time, and then again we become hungry. Similarly, it is for a woman, for a man. we are looking for partners, and for some time they feel some ecstasy, but after some time the same sorry, the same thing gives them lot of trouble. So bodily needs, mental needs will not satisfy you permanently. What is more important is loving God, and that is of eternal nature. That anything done for the Lord, it becomes akshay, it becomes unending, eternal. So understand this science and practice it from now. So we'll stop here tomorrow. I will stop here and discuss it tomorrow again. Hare Krishna.